Hey, everybody, it's John Moore with the Texas College Football Show, and this is week 4 of the college football countdown for the Texas FBS Division I college football schools. We've been doing this since right before week 1. We did it the week of, leading up to week 1. I know there was a week 0, and Sam Houston State University played that week, and we didn't do a countdown that week. We wanted to do it the official first week of football. Now we're into week 4. Things change a little bit. We're going to go over that. There may be a new number 1. We'll see how that goes at the beginning. But before we do anything and go any further, I want to personally say something. It's been a tough week. A lot of you saw the assassination of what happened to Charlie Kirk. There was also a school shooting that day in the state of Minnesota, I believe, or Colorado. I'm not sure exactly. The rhetoric's got to slow down. This is ridiculous. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care who your politics are, whether you love Trump, hate Trump. I don't care if you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish. I don't care. One of the greatest things in the world about sports is the fact that we get to argue sports back and forth while having a beer. We do it. Taylor, who owns Fanatics View, is a good friend of mine. Taylor Jones is, and he's a great friend. He's a big Texas A&M fan. He hired me. I'm a UT guy. I love UT. I have a son that goes to UT. We argue UT, A&M. We argue about different schools in the FBS. We argue about who should be number 1. We argue about Texas Rangers baseball because we both cover them too. It's fun. You know what we do afterwards? We giggle, we laugh, and go, I'm telling you, you're wrong here. And then we give each other crud if it is. That's the great thing. Nobody ever, whether it's politics, whether it's anything, should ever have to face what happened to Charlie Kirk. It was a political assassination. It was a murder. It's one of the saddest things I've ever said. My condolences go out. This is not from Fanatics View, although I know Taylor and I know everyone feels the same way. I am on the platform, so I will say that my condolences and my thoughts and prayers go out not only to Charlie Kirk, but to the families of those affected in Colorado by the school shooting, any school shooting. I always stop and pray for people all the time. I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and that's what I believe. I have prayed many times for people that are injured, hurt, and I have political differences with people, and I would never wish this on anybody. I didn't always agree with Charlie Kirk on things, but this was wrong. So I wanted to real quickly just say my condolences to the Kirk family, my condolences to those other. Political violence has got to stop. We cannot do this. Let's tone it down. Why don't we all just come together and talk like we do about sports? That's what I hope happens going into the future. Now let's go forward. Texas College Football Show had a good week. It actually did. I told you at the beginning of the year when I did all this that I was going to put out my preseason rankings. My preseason records and predictions of what I thought every team would do for the entire season. I said that. So I have come on every week when I do the countdown, even if I change, and I reserve the right. I've made that abundantly clear that I reserve the right to change my mind as the week goes on, as the season goes on. Somebody that I may have thought was going to go 4-8, and now I think they might go 12-0. I have a right to reserve to change my mind, but I'm always going to go back to what I did at the beginning of the season and show you how wrong or right I was when it goes. With that being said, this last week, week 3, was the first time I went against a preseason ranking on one of the schools. On one of the schools, I changed my mind this week, and I hit. This week's going to be a little bit different. I'm looking at my deal now. I have 5 schools that I'm changing my mind on, and as we get to them, I'll tell you who they are and why I changed my mind. Okay? Let's get into how we did this week. This last week, we were 11-1 in week 3, and we are 33-5 overall as the Texas College Football Show in our picks. Now, we don't pick against the line because we would never get it right. It's just mainly a win or loss when it comes to it. This 5-star pick this week, I had Rice beating Prairie View 31-13. They actually ended up beating them 38-17. So that's about the closest I got on a score. I did really good the first week, and last week I forget exactly who it was. I'm sorry, guys. I've slept since then and all of that. Now let's get into our top 13, and one of them did not play this week, but we're going to get into it right now. At number 13, Sam Houston comes in at number 13. They were on a bye this week. We gave them 2 weeks to get ready for Texas. They are playing Texas this week at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be on ESPN+. I myself will be at this game Now, I'm not going as a member of the media. I did go to the SMU Baylor game, not this week, but not this last week, but the week before. I will be down there to visit my son, and my wife and I got tickets to go to this game, and we did this well before Taylor and I talked about doing this. So I'll be down there this week to take in the Texas and Sam Houston game. Texas is picked to win by 41.5 points. I've got a strong opinion on that when we get to Texas, and the total at 51.5. I do think Texas will rebound tremendously from what I thought was just an abhorrent job of offense and what they did this week. I think they're going to win, but they're not going to cover. It's going to be 41-7. Sam Houston has a quarterback problem. I don't think they can figure out what's going on there at quarterback. So that's why I think that that's going to happen. Where am I at on everything going on with Sam Houston? I'm 3-0 so far. I had them starting out 0-4, and so far I'm right on it. They lost to Hawaii 2 weeks ago. They lost to Western Kentucky in that 0 week, and UNLV, that's the actual first week of the season, and they were on a bye this week. So let's go down to number 12. Number 12, we have the University of Texas El Paso. Let me tell you something. You need to keep an eye on this. I tell you right now, Scotty Walden's doing a hell of a job there. And I know that Texas played like crap, and we're going to go into all the stats on this one when I get to Texas, who is, at the top of this list. When we get up to that point, we'll talk about the game and who all did what. Scotty Walden had those guys playing it. I know they played like crap, but I don't care. He had them going, dude. Texas ended up winning that game 27-10. They kind of controlled it the whole time. But, hey, Scotty Walden looked good. And this is my first one that I am going off what I said to begin the season. They are going to be playing University of Louisiana Monroe. It's at 8 p.m. Central Time. It's on ESPN+. UTEP is favored in this game, -3.5. It was kind of a toss-up at the beginning of the season, what people thought, and I was given the thought to University of Louisiana Monroe, especially with what happened, and there was some quarterback questions. Malachi Nelson had a good job against University of Texas. I do not think they'll cover the over-under there, but I do think UTEP wins this one. I don't think they'll cover the spread either. UTEP's going to win this 24-21. Now, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to show you what I thought about UTEP. I had UTEP losing to University of Louisiana Monroe, and if they lose, I will get a gold star for that one, or the white star you see there, because I did pick them to lose that game. But I'm going off on this one, and I have picked them to I have not picked them to I picked them to win this week when I did not at the first of the year. Let's go to number 11. The Rice Owls. The Rice Owls beat Prairie View 38-17. They are 2-1 overall. They are 0-0 in conference play. That was another hit for the Texas College Football Show. This Thursday, the 18th, they're playing at Charlotte at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. They are picked. They are by 4.5 points. Rice is favored, and a 42.5 point over-under on that. The Texas College Football Show prediction, I do have Rice winning this game and it coming in under. Rice's offense, it's crazy. Chase Jenkins not only was the leading passer this week on this game, he's also the leading rusher. He was 10 of 16 for 87 yards and a touchdown passing. He had 21 rushes for 124 yards and another TD. Quentin Jackson, who's kind of my offensive weapon guy there that made our preseason team, he had 9 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown also. Landon Ransom Goals had the leading receiver. He had 3 receptions for 46 yards. And Andrew Shaw was their leading tackler with 5 tackles on the game for him. But for Rice, I've got them winning this one 21-14. I do think that they're going to win the game. I think they'll cover the spread, but I don't think it's going to go over or under. All right, let's go to our number 10. Number 10, staying the same from last week. It's UTSA. UTSA beat Incarnate Word 48-20. 48-20 on Incarnate Word. Pretty good for them there. They are 1-2 overall. They're 0-0 in the American Conference right now. That was also a hit. Big shout out to Owen McCallum, who's been good all year long. He was 29 for 35 for 238 yards. He had 4 TDs. Robert Henry Jr. Had 14 carries for 144 yards and 2 TDs for UTSA. A.J. Wilson was the leading reception. Receiver, he had 4 receptions for 99 yards and a TD. Devin McEwen also had a couple of TDs, but he only had 51 yards in receiving. Brandon Tucker was their leading tackler on the team. He had 8 tackles, 7 solo. Big shout out to him. Now let's see what we go into our season. 3-0 so far on them, and I've also got them winning this week. So guess what? I'm going to stick with it. Going to stick with it on them at that. Big shout out to Coach to Coach there at UTSA. What am I thinking of? I can't get my facts here. Sorry, guys. Let's go to number 9. Jeff Traylor. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Jeff Traylor. Number 9. Whoops, that's wrong right there. Number 9, who is down 2 spots this week, is Texas State. They were at number 7 last week. They have dropped down to number 2. They lost to Arizona State University 34-15. I thought it was going to be a close game. Last year, they played them really close last year. They are 2-1 overall. They are 0-0 in the Sun Belt. I did have them losing this game. We'll go over that in just a second. On this one, this Saturday, they play Nichols. They play at 7 p.m. Central on Central Standard Time. It's on ESPN+. They don't have a line or a total on this game, meaning they don't know how to predict it because Nichols is a FCS school. They're not a G5 or an FBS school. Texas State is 41-14 is what I have picked on this one. They are heavily favored. Let's go down to the number 8 team. Number 8, God, guys, this is the team that we want to watch out for here. That's University of North Texas. Good Lord. Are these guys something else? I'm going to tell you right now, University of North Texas, they beat the crud out of Washington State. I thought it was going to be closer than that. Washington State, come on, Washington State is a good football program. They should be a good football program. This is where Mike Leach was before he came into Mississippi State. He did well at Washington State. Ryan Leaf was from Washington State. They just dog runned them. I mean, good Lord, look what they did to them. They boat raced them 59-10. They're 2-1. North Texas is overall. They're 0-0 in the American Conference. Texas College Football Show. This was a miss on this one. That is not right, is it? Are they? They are 3-0, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know where I got 2-1 from. They are 3-0. They are 3-0. What are they doing this week? They are September 20th. They are at Army. This is another one, guys, where I have gone off what I said at the beginning of the year. They played 11 a.m. Central on CBS Sports Network. The line is -2.5 and a 52.5 over-under. I've got UNT. Army's picked to win that, by the way. UNT winning this game 34-24. This offense has been crazy. I don't know if you guys have watched what they've done. Guys, they're 3-0. And I'm sorry, I put all this together after I get all my notes together, and I miss every once in a while. They are 3-0 right now. But I did miss on this one because I had UNT, if you'll look here, I had UNT losing to Washington State, and they ended up winning that game. So I am 2-1. I'm the one that's 2-1 on the record there, and somehow that translated over. Okay, let's go to the number 7 team. Number 17, University of Houston. University of Houston, they're up a slot. They have a bye this week. They beat Colorado 36-20. They're 3-0 overall, and they are 1-0 in the Big 12. This was another hit for me on the Texas College Football Show. They do have a bye this week, so they're not going to have anything coming up in week 4. They won't be playing. Connor Wiegman, who transferred over from A&M, the 5-star recruit, he was 15 for 24, 222 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns or interceptions, but he was also right up there in the leading rushers. He had 17 carries for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. He also had Dean Connors was rushed for 89 yards and had a touchdown there. University of Houston is showing me something. Now, I had them starting out 4-0. They'll get into the Oregon State next week when they play Oregon State. But, hey, Colorado, they beat Colorado, and they controlled that game. They beat Colorado pretty good, 36-20. I mean, good Lord. Deion Sanders comes in without Shadur, without Travis, and look, Travis Hunter. And here we go with that, and that's a big one. Number 6 stays the same. This game was better than it should have been. I I had them winning this game. They beat Missouri State University. Missouri State's where my son lives. It's in Springfield, Missouri. Go up there at least twice a year to see him. Go up for he's studying to be an actor. They should have won. They should have beat this one a lot better. They should have won this game. Kevin Jennings was 24 for 36, 281 yards. He had one TD and one interception. TJ Harden, who had a great game against Baylor, had 15 carries for 96 yards and two TDs, the longest one being 37 yards. Then they passed it around. They kind of moved it around. Jalen Cooper had 68 yards. Romello Brinson had 67 yards. Ymir Knight had 65 yards. I mean, they threw the ball around going through there. They were the better team. They were down 10-0 at one point. Missouri State jumped out on them, had a good schematic to get into this thing. On the defensive side, Jalen Davison had 7 tackles and Justin Medlock had 6 tackles. They are playing at TCU. This is another one that is going to go off that I am not. I had SMU winning this game, okay? This game's at 11 a.m. Central Time. It's on ESPN2. They are playing at TCU. The line is TCU by 6.5. I had SMU winning this game all preseason and coming into it. I don't have that anymore. The over-under is going to be 63.5. I think this will be a high-scoring game. I don't know if they're going to get quite over that. It will. I've got them going over in that one. But I've got TCU winning this one and pretty handily by 7. I've got them winning 35-28. I'm sorry. TCU has impressed me. I can't say enough about Cooper. There, I just think he's Hoover. Josh Hoover, who I think's done a tremendous job. He had another good week this week after their bye. Really good, big for them. And if you look at what I predicted at the beginning of the year, you see where I had them beating TCU and going 10-2. Well, I think their second loss is coming this week. I am going off script on this one. Let's get down to number 5. Number 5 is the Baylor Bears. The Baylor Bears beat Samford 42-7. They are 2-1 overall. They are 0-0 in the Big 12. Sawyer Robinson, once again, 27 for 37. He had 3 TDs. He did have 2 interceptions, 211 yards. Bryson Washington was the star of this one. 2 touchdowns, a rush for 135 yards on 21 carries. They also passed the ball around. Ashton Hawkins, Josh Cameron, Lewis Brown, they all had about 3 or 4 catches apiece, averaging about 40, 50 yards, all 3 of them. Cameron had a touchdown on that one. This week, Baylor is playing Arizona State University. This is another one that I have gone off script. I thought Dave Aranda was in trouble. They opened up the season with that loss to Auburn. They came out and played a heck of a game against SMU. What a fun game against SMU that they played, and ended up winning in overtime. This week it's 6:30 p.m. Central Time. It's on Fox. The line is, I believe it is Baylor minus 2.5, and the total is 59.5 over and under. I've got Baylor winning this game 34-21. No, it's got ASU, I believe, is picked to win. I'm sorry. ASU, I know they beat Texas State. And kind of controlled Texas State. But I saw some flaws in ASU that I think Baylor can expose, and Baylor is impressing me more and more as we go forward. So I'm going off what I predicted beginning of the season. I had ASU as a loss for Baylor. I am going off of that. If I'm right, there's going to be another X there this next week. I'm 2-1 in my preseason predictions. You can call me an idiot all you want, and it's probably deserved. As I am totally wrong. I had them going 6-6. I think it's a little bit going to be better than that. Top 4, guys. Let's get to the top 4 schools. Top 4, we're going to go to number 4 is going to be TCU. TCU beat Abilene Christian 42-21. They're 2-0 overall after the bye week. The week before last, they are 0-0 Big 12. They hit on this one. Josh Hoover, once again, 4 touchdowns, 21 for 27, 337 yards. I just love this guy. Kavorian Barnes had 10 carries for 43 yards. Joseph Manjack IV had 4 receptions for 114 yards. Jordan Dwyer had 89 yards receiving. Ed Small had 45 yards. Chase Curtis, he had a touchdown. Ed Small had a couple of touchdowns. TCU just manhandled. There wasn't really a defensive standout. They had a few that had 8 or 9 tackles, but this was, Abilene Christian University. It was expected. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now when we get up here to the number 3. And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. They have not moved from where they were. But I debated this because one team disappointed me this week. And, but it still comes down to the adage of if these teams played each other 10 times on a neutral field, who would win 6 of those games between Texas Tech and, quite honestly, who I have in the second place team. And I actually think that the team that's in second place would beat them. Texas Tech is number 3. Last week they beat Oregon State, and they manhandled Oregon State 45-14. Overall, they are 3-0. They are 0-0 in the Big 12. It was a hit. This week they are at Utah at 11 a.m. Central Time. This is another one, guys, that I got to be honest with. Well, I had them beating Utah because I think they're going to be good this year. But it could have gone back or forth. Utah is picked to win by 3.5 points. I've actually got Tech winning this game, and I do have them going on the over. Baron Morton's been good. He was 23 for 35 for 465 yards and 4 touchdowns. Cameron Dickey had 77 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jacoby Williams had 48 yards and a touchdown. He moved the ball around, too. You know, he had 139 yards receiving from Corey Eakin. You had Kobe Williams had 116. Terrence Carter had 102. Each had touchdowns. Caleb Douglas had 61 yards and a touchdown. These guys are moving the ball around. Of course, on defense, Jacob Rodriguez, who we thought was going to be their preseason linebacker there. He had 7 tackles, 2 solos, and he had a half of a tackle for loss. Joey McGuire has things going good, guys. This team has not played anybody yet. Now, Oregon State is obviously the best of what they've played, and they did manhandle them. So they boat raced them. They basically controlled this game and just whooped it to them. Utah's a team that can come, they're hosting this game. Tech could go into Utah and get beat. We're going to see it's the best team by far that they're going to play. A lot of people have Utah winning the Big 12. Or bouncing back. They were picked to win it last year and kind of had a down year. Let's see what happens. In the preseason at 9-3, I did have them winning against Utah. So I did have them beating Utah. So let's see how this goes. I do have them beating Utah. What did I have it by? I had them beating Utah 34-31. I think it's going to be close. This stands in line with what I picked at the beginning of the year. I'm 3-0 in my preseason picks on them, but I'm a fan of what Joey McGuire's doing there, okay? Now, we're going to get into UTEP on this one because our number 2 team that has been dethroned by Texas A&M is the University of Texas. My team. Love the University of Texas. My son goes there. Wrote a big check to the University of Texas. I am pulling for the University of Texas. Guys, they're in trouble right now. I got to tell you right now, I'm worried if they would win right now against Texas Tech. I'm wondering if they'd win right now against TCU or maybe Baylor or SMU. I think they would. They just have the athletes that are crazy good. But there is something wrong with that offense. The only thing that keeps them in any conversation about being at the top right now is their defense, and their defense is stellar. Their defense is crazy good with what they did last week. UTEP did good. Malachi Nelson was 24 for 36, 209 yards. He had 2 interceptions. Their leading rusher was Wilson. He had 39. They only had 50 yards rushing. They only had 209 yards passing. So they only had 250 yards total. The defense was crazy, but the defense stayed on the field the whole time. Eventually you're going to make some, you're going to give up some points when you do that. And they ended up scoring 10 points. Devin Tate had 6 receptions for 64 yards. Torrek Goins had 5 receptions for 63 yards. But you got to look over at Texas and what they did on offense. This offense was crazy bad. I mean, crazy bad. Look, here's what I think about Arch. I'm worried. I think, there were some encouraging things I saw from Sarkisian after the game with the way he talked about it, and he made no bones about how poorly they played. It wasn't their standard. He did say after that first play that CJ Baxter was a big part of what they wanted to do in this game. And I assume they wanted to, they weren't going to go much off script. They weren't going to showcase a lot of what their offense was. They controlled this game and won it pretty easily because of who they were. But the offense should have just put up numbers just on normal pass plays and passing downfield. When Baxter went down, they went to 2 backs that they had not game planned for, playing a lot, had to change up their entire script for what they wanted to do. And Arch Manning, when he's pressured, and he was pressured a lot, he is struggling. There were so many throws he missed, so many throws that of open receivers. And if he'd have just let it go, and for whatever reason, he's checking down too early, he did finally start running a little bit. I mean, let's be honest. He ran for 51 yards and 2 TDs. He only threw for 114 yards. This is not a Heisman Trophy guy, which we've already stated from the beginning. He looked better in the Ohio State game against that defense than he did this week. That's what's concerning. He looked good last week, against. Oh God, when I'm going a blank here, but he looked good last week in the win. Last week and this week he just looked hideous. Now they should have blew out last week too. What am I doing? I'm going blank here. And what they did last week. Who did they play last week? You guys are going to have to help me out. I cannot believe I'm forgetting this. My mind just went blank. The line on this one is 41.5. They're playing Sam Houston at 7:00 on ESPN Plus. I'll be there, like I said. The over-under's 51.5. Texas is picked to win that. I think they're going to win it pretty handily. It's probably going to be 41-7. It's kind of my personal opinion of what they'll do there. Look, I don't know. I'll tell you right now, Texas A&M would beat them by at least 2 touchdowns, I think right now. Not because the Texas A&M offense is that stellar, which they were great this week against a good Notre Dame. They were really good. Texas defense is way better than anything they've seen so far. I know that Notre Dame's supposed to have a really good defense. It's not near as good as Texas defense. The problem is when Texas defense is on the field for too long, you're going to expose some stuff. These guys have got to get off the field. You've got to have an offense that can move the ball and get some points up on them, and you can't be dependent on your defense to bail you out every week. You just can't do that. And that's the only thing they've got going. But right now, you give Marcel Reed, who's playing like a Heisman Trophy candidate, you give him the opportunity to get on the field more because your offense is stagnant and your running game sucks and you can't get anything going and you're dependent on the best defense in the country. Marcel Reed eventually is going to find receivers or runners, or what he's going to do. He's going to wear down that defense and he's going to win. He's going to score some points. And I bet at least 10 to 14 points they would beat Texas right now. And would they beat them 10 times? Would they beat them 6 times if they played 10 times on a neutral field? Today? Yeah. If Texas plays like this, it's not even close that they would do that. I do think Texas and Arch Manning are going to get better. I just do. I mean, you look at some of these guys. Marcel Reed had games like this last year. It's experience. And I love what Drew and I talked about. He agreed with me totally. He thinks Arch is going to be a fine quarterback. The problem is Arch has got to get out of his head. I really think he's in his head. I think he has been told so much how perfect and what a great – we've seen the talent. You see the way he can throw the ball. You see what he can do. But his arm angles are different. He's throwing sidearm. He's missing receivers. He is rushing throws. He's doing things because he thinks he's got to be perfect, and I think he's not seeing guys that he can throw to. And there's a point, guys, where you got to throw the ball and let your receivers make the play. They don't have to be wide open. All you got to do is get it in that direction. They'll make the play as long as you put it where only they can get to it. And you got to learn to do that, Arch. And I know you know how to do that. I think you're in your head right now. I think you guys are going to manhandle Sam Houston. You're going to have 2 weeks off after that, and then you're going to go play at Florida. That's going to be the test. We're going to see. Now, Florida's offense, if DJ Lagway's on, could be good, but they haven't played anything like Texas defense. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the best defense that Texas has played besides Ohio State is going to be Florida. Hopefully they get some of these running backs back. You've got Trey Wisner and you've got Baxter, who's obviously going to miss this week with a hamstring history. I don't know exactly what's up with Wisner. I don't know if he'll be back this week, but you have 3 weeks before, if neither one of them are back this week, you're going to have 3 weeks to get those guys rest and get them healthy before you go to Florida. And that changes, it does change a lot. When you have running backs that can run and, Wisner's that shifty back that can make yards when it seemed like he didn't have it. Baxter can go up. He got, 8-9 yards on that carry he had? What did Baxter have? He had 1 carry for 6 yards. 1 carry right up the middle, like he ran into a wall, just forced his way up for 6 yards. You need that guy. Of course, Simon Gibson's supposed to be that guy. He had 64 yards. I mean, Simon also got more carries than he was slated to have. They only averaged about 3.5 to 4 yards a carry. You got to have more than that. You got to at least be over 4. It's called 4 yards in a cloud of dust. I think that Sarkisian was gun shy. I think when Arch wasn't doing it, he wasn't throwing the ball downfield. He needed to. He even said he probably needed to open it up more with Arch's legs, when Arch did end up running the ball, he looked good running the ball. He got easily tackled on one play, but I think he had all of his foot there, and I think he just didn't want to get leveled by 4 other people. But he was shifty. He had some yards when designed plays, or there was a couple of times he took off when it opened up. He looked okay. I think this week he's just got to let him go. So, quit worrying about being perfect and play Arch ball. Just do it. Just do it and go play it. Guys, that brings me down to the number 1 team. Wait a minute. Let's go to the weekly did. Ohio State was a loss. I had them going 12-0. I don't have them going 12-0 now. And I don't even have them going 11-1 right now. We'll see how this plays out as we go. They are going to beat Sam Houston. It could be ugly. Arch said it the best. He goes, the way I played, it might slide against UTEP. It won't slide in SEC play. I think every SEC opponent who hates Texas knows that. It won't slide in SEC play. They're going to beat Sam Houston. I have them beating Florida after that. I'll probably stick with that, but let's see what happens this week and see how it goes. Now it brings us to the number 1 team, and by God, if you are an Aggie fan, this makes me sick to my stomach. You should be happy. Texas A&M went up there, and I did it, guys. I went off script. I had Texas A&M losing this game, but I went off script this week, and when I did my final prediction, I picked A&M to beat Notre Dame. I just thought there was enough that I saw, although there were mistakes in the previous 2 games. I thought I had seen enough that if they were on and they could go, and if their defense could play any sort, and their defense is a struggle. Let me tell you right now, Notre Dame moved the ball, was able to move the ball on them, but Texas doesn't look like they could move the ball on. Big props to Mike Elko and what he's doing. They beat Notre Dame 41-40. It was a fantastic, fun game. Just feels so sick to my stomach for the Notre Dame holder who dropped that ball. They missed that extra point. Of course, then Bussey runs the kick back and it gets called back, but A&M goes down the field. It's 4th down, last play of the game, throws that ball. The tight end makes a great catch there. What a great play call by Klein to do that. Just impressive. Right now, Texas A&M is the best school in the state of Texas right now. And I don't care what Texas does to Sam Houston. I don't care what they do. They're not going to dethrone A&M on a bye week because I won't allow it. I still think when it comes down to it that Texas is the better team, but right now they're not. Right now they're not. There's no way to get around that. They're just not. They are not the better team right now. Kudos to them. Your new number one team is the Texas A&M Aggies. I've got them at 2-1. You see there, I missed at the beginning of the year. I had them as a loss to Notre Dame, but I had reserved the right to change my mind, and I did. And I changed my mind, and I had them winning this week, and I was right. You know who else did that? Drew Meyer, who does Drew Tamu. He did the exact same thing. Hey, guys, hit the subscribe button down below. Give us the likes there. I appreciate all of you that are doing this. If I'm an idiot, call me one. Again, thoughts and prayers to all of those affected by what happened last week. We're gone to this one. This week's the game of the week is going to be between TCU and SMU. We'll get those guys on to preview this game sometime this week. I'll be out of town next weekend, but I'll try to get everything together Sunday when I get back. Until next week, congratulations to the Texas A&M Aggies. Until then, guys, we will see you on the gridiron.